welcome black. Disco hard and it hit like bats. Took my Sabbath, I can relax. Like boomerang, I come right back. Like boomerang, I come right back. Just like yo-yos, come right back. Don't be no-shows, come right back. Don't be loco, come right. Look, welcome black.
Hey, what's up? What's good?
And we back. That's right, baby. Welcome, Black.
What's up?
To the Black on Black
podcast.
My name is George.
I'm Kadri.
Hey, we are so excited to be here, be hanging out with you. Some of you guys may still be hanging out with us from over. It's been close to 2 years. Since our last
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I think it was December of 2018 was the last time we put an episode out. So a year and a half. So some of you guys are rocking with us from then. We've picked up, I believe, just from looking at some of the people who've been following us, we've picked up some new followers. So this might be your first time interacting with us. Welcome. Here in the Black. Are you tired? Welcome. We're like a minute in. And you're
I'm good.
we're
I'm so excited. Can't you see it all over my face?
We're a minute in and we're already bored. But we're super stoked to be hanging out with you guys.
Hyped.
And because we know that we have a lot of new people, new listeners, new audiences, and some of them are returning. And it's just been a long time. We've changed in the last 2 years. So for those of you guys who may not know, since last episode, I've become a father. I actually have a 1-year-old.
Wow. Yep. That's true.
My child just turned 1 this past weekend. I don't know when you'll hear this, but 2 days ago, my son turned 1. So we've changed.
I have a little bit more hair.
Yeah. Dude, I have.
You can totally see
it.
Dude,
if you're watching from the last podcast where my dreads were like little babies, look at this.
They're actually certified dreads.
They're actually certified dreads.
Dude.
I can't even wear a hat anymore, which makes me so sad because I miss wearing a hat.
Dude, you got entanglements in your head.
Dude,
Moving on. But yeah, we're back, and guess what? We're different.
I was not ready. How you gonna do my one Will dirty like that, bro? We're gonna talk about that for sure.
Maybe one day. I don't know.
Entanglements.
All right.
But yeah, it's been a while. So we're gonna spend this first episode just kind of going over what this podcast is, what it isn't.
Yep. Down.
Even just some things that we're passionate about and things we're kind of not passionate about. And just, I don't want to say set guidelines and rules, but just kind of a little bit, just kind of like what this episode's about. Hopefully you could listen to this first episode and know going forward if you want to listen to this or if you don't.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's all gravy either way. But yeah, we're just going to spin this first episode laying it out.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you want to tell the people? Is there anything you want to tell the people right now?
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but I guess we could start off with acknowledging that this is not a debate space.
Facts.
That's not what this is going to be. There's plenty of channels on YouTube or whatever, whatever medium you want to use. Whatever medium you want to use for, experiencing that kind of content. And we are not sponsored by LaCroix. LaCroix, here's a hot take. This is the only debate we'll ever have here.
LaCroix's trash.
No, I say it's mediocre. 6 out of 10. All right, so moving on from.
Jeez.
You mad about that, Jed? Oh, our homie Jed's in the back.
Yeah. Also, we gotta give some shouts out before we jump in. Some shouts outs to we have Cajun George. We're the main stars for sure, but we also have Brown Hand, also referred to in.
I'm gonna get my own mic one of these days.
That's right. Brown Hand. That voice you hear in the back is not an actual person. It's just a brown hand.
That's all it is.
It's an ethereal brown hand. You might see it from time to time. Hand does stuff.
I'm the super special.
So Brown Hand is on the camera and on the microphones, making sure we sound and look great. So we can't do this without him.
And he sounds and looks great too.
Most of the times.
Hurtful.
So yeah, we're thankful for him. Also, real quick before we jump in, we also have to give one more shout out to my man. I don't know if you guys heard, but we have a theme song. if you watch this episode, you should have heard our brand new theme song. And it's so welcome back. You know, it's fire. So, but that song was written and recorded by Glenn Henry, aka Belief Mel, aka Belief in Fatherhood, who let us use that track for our intros. Also produced, I'm pretty sure it was produced by Jay Ruckers, super fire. And so yeah, shouts outs to them for. So I mean, I just feel so. I feel so legit that
like official.
Like yeah, we
and
have
we're in a new room,
and we have a new space, dude. From my basement. Episode 1 from my basement.
That was sick.
To like a whole legit, you know what I'm saying?
Humble beginnds, dude.
It's funny. What I love about that shot is there's a thing that says chickens in the back. If you ever look at it, it says like chickens for sale.
That's kind of funny.
But now look, we didn't come up, man. After 2 episodes, look at 2 episodes in 2 years.
Baby steps.
Look where we're at.
Let's go.
You can do it too if we work hard. But yeah,
right,
so we're here. This is the new season. I think this is season 2.
Cool. Yeah, this will definitely be the most boring episode out of all of them.
But most informational.
Sure.
But most boring.
Yeah, for sure.
What were you saying? You were saying something before.
Oh, yeah. So this isn't going to be a debate space.
Facts.
We're not interested in having, debate, that kind of, that's just not the environment or the space we're trying to create here. So, you know, I think you said something to the effect of like, you don't care about blocking people.
Oh yeah, we were talking. So KG and I, which we'll probably get into this a little bit, but we've been talking for a few weeks or longer about doing this again. And one of the things that came up, we have an Instagram. So if you have an Instagram, you should follow us. But I told KG, I said I have no problem blocking people, and let me tell you why. Because I'm not like some person who's just mean and I like love blocking people. I just really believe like in like kind of creating a safe space for us to be able to create and share. And if you don't have anything constructive to say, it's like, I don't mean it in a mean way. Like I just personally, I'm just like, all right, well then there's just no reason for us to have a conversation about it. Like we're totally, this whole part of this podcast is having conversations. I don't know if you agree with this or not. I think you did, but like, I don't even mind if you have maybe if you come in with a difference of opinion and you want to have a conversation about it, you're looking to gain knowledge, you're looking to gain someone else's perspective. We're cool with that. What we're not cool is if you've come up with a predetermined, made up mind and you just want to argue. I just don't have the time for that. I don't mean to be mean in that space. I just really mean like there's people who I do want to have a conversation with who I think like my time would be better. Our time would be better suited for having conversations. And so if you're just coming here because you want to send us, videos or send us like you're like, I think this is the truth.
You're
and it's
like, or something.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, cool, man. Like this isn't the space for you. And like, I'll block you, and not to be mean. Like I'm not like, I don't take this stuff personally. I just block people on the like, all right, well, cool.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah. Really. Like this is just a space where we're like, casually talking about certain subjects. I think the nature of what we're doing, obviously, we have our own personal, premises that we're operating off of,
For
and
sure.
let me retrace. By the nature of it, like yes, there is like some political implications behind the ideas that we're sharing. Like just. Whatever, just go with it.
But we're not trying to here to argue you into our, or either like our like.
We're not
ideas.
here to try to convince people into
This is more of we're sharing our perspective and hopefully being able to start a conversation that hopefully we can have together in some spaces, maybe comment sections or emails, different things. But hopefully our desire is that you're maybe even having these conversations with other white people. Other black people, people of color in different spaces.
I think for sure, obviously, like what's the right word? I think a product of what we're doing, it like if you do change your mind on something, that's super dope.
Right.
Like share that. Like there is a part of it where I would prefer that you would change your mind on some ideas if you have them, and that's
we prefer
cool.
you not to be racist, but to be following this channel. But
and that you agree with some of the stuff we say, and we don't even. There's some things that we don't like have vehement like disagreements on or whatever, but like we have some like minor differences of opinion, and those things will come up. But
between
like,
you and me?
yeah, for sure. But in general,
But
in general, like our like premises and stuff like that, the things that are values, the things that establish the way that we perceive and see the world, and then establish why we think some of the things we think are generally the same. Like there's not really much I don't know. There's not much we disagree with
like,
that is substantial.
I think what you'll find in Kadri and I, and this is why I love this, is that we have the same like kind of base ideology. Sometimes we differ in like the implementation of it, but like you and I, you know what I'm saying? And so, but that's, I think what sometimes we like to highlight is how you can have that with people. Doesn't mean you have to hate them. It doesn't mean that like, you can't have conversation, but you can have healthy conversation and maybe come from different perspectives, and then, like learn to listen and learn to have honest communication and dialogue. And then, sometimes you have your mind. There's plenty of times I've had conversation with you.
Civil discourse. But obviously there's some people, some of you are going to be on here and there is no civil discourse to be had.
And that's
because there's nothing that we have to talk about. So I'm not, like, we're not interested in engaging with you.
And that's when I will block you. And I just want you to know, if you ever like, I got blocked. No, I did it. Like, I will claim that 1,000% right now. I will just like, I'll be so quick to block you. And it's not even, again, it's not because I don't value what you have to say. It's that this just isn't the space for that. Like, it's just not. Like, again, I'm going to go a little, dude, just don't send me your like, don't send me your Candace Owens videos and be like, well, what do you have to say about this? And not that, like, I'm not saying like if you watch her, whatever. I'm not, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, if you're coming to me to be like, hey, I'm trying to prove a point to you, instead of being like, hey, like I tell people this all the time when they send me these videos. I say, if that's your view on something, then I will have a conversation with you about your view. I will not have a conversation with you about someone else's view who I don't know and don't have any interaction with. That doesn't make any sense to me. So don't send me certain so-and-so's videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, like, defend what I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's having a totally different conversation in a totally different context. So why would I engage with you about someone else's conversation? It doesn't make any sense. So like, if you do that if you want to engage in that kind of behavior, again, good on you. I'm not saying anything less about you. I'm just saying I personally don't have the time for that. And so I feel like it's a pretty clear communication element to block you, because what that says is keep moving. Yeah. And don't take it personally. Don't take it negatively. I mean, you can take it however you want, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Peace. Yeah. And again, 100%. If you get blocked, it was
him. I
don't even think you have the Instagram password.
So. No, I'm not even going to read the comments. I don't care. Oh my God.
Facts.
But cool. So, is there like, we have other things like we could go on with that too.
For sure. And a natural segue would be the Instagram. I would encourage all of you guys, if you do want to continue with this, follow our Instagram, because what we want to do differently than what we did before is engage with the audience more. Mm-hmm. Things like, and I don't know how exactly we'll do this, but I want to do something to where if you're a person who's white and watching this, glad you're here. But if there's any kind of just questions that it's kind of like, man, this feels weird to ask my black friend face to face. Like, I want to give you a safe space to where like you could DM us. I'm going to try and figure out another like maybe secure way of doing that, but just a way where you can send us the questions. And we're going to have almost, I think, every episode or every other episode, a space where we just read some of those. And not that we're right or we're the experts on being black, or that black people are a monolith, and that every black person in the world feels the exact way that we would, but just a space for where you could go, hey, and I've just seen this in my own friendships that have been really productive, where people just go, hey, I know this is kind of weird, but I've always wanted this, or I always thought, how would I approach this, or this happened, how would I handle this? Just think of us as some black friends that hopefully, like, you feel comfortable with sharing some of these different things, and you can ask us some questions. I mean, again, if you ask like really wild things, you'll get blocked. But I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is more,
I'm not gonna, like, we're not responding to your memes.
Yeah, like the constructive questions, we want to do that. Yeah. We've even talked about doing another segment where it's kind of like things that black people like want to say to white people, and maybe reading some of that kind of stuff out too. So just, I would just again encourage you to follow that, so where you can, I'm gonna send out like kind of weekly things of topics that you guys want to hear, different things. We're not gonna listen to all of them, but we'll do our best.
Yeah.
But again, it's really this platform is really gonna be based and predicated off of creating dialogue, having conversation, listening, and what we don't want this to be is like a one-way us just. You know what I'm saying, being a monologue kind of thing, and to where we would love for you to be able to walk away from this and feel like you got something productive that you can now hopefully it can be some kind of like activator in your life or in maybe some of your friendships and relationships, and it can be beneficial to you, not just you listening to us like pontificates and say all these fancy things. You know?
I think it's also it's probably important to be said, like this.
Yes.
I think you already know. Like, we're two black dudes. This is not a monolith. You know, we're not a monolith.
Yeah. That's not
I think you might have thought. What do you think?
I thought it was something different, but no, that's good.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
we're
like. Sure.
I think that this is how do I even say this? I think the thing you said about the Candace Owen videos is really funny to me, because I think
don't send us to other people either.
No. I think it's funny because it's like people like will show that stuff and be like, oh, she's the end all be all, and I think that's something I don't like about. I'm not gonna. That's something I don't like about.
No, you can say it. Yeah,
all right, sure. That's something I don't like about a lot of people that are conservative and stuff like that I have to engage with and stuff. Is that there's this tokenism behind black people, where it's like Candace Owen is like somehow like the what's the
epitome,
or I guess like I can't think of a word, but almost like a corner, like the capstone for them of like the black voices and stuff like that. Like that's the only person they've engaged with, and that's so comfortable to their own personal perspectives and stuff. Like, I just want to make it super clear, like, being a black person is equally as nuanced as any other group of people. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff we'll get into that will maybe make some stuff clearer, because sure, there are a lot of social like stimuli and things that create certain black experience that informs the way a lot of people think about things, and hopefully we'll get more into that. But just recognize that, like, we're not like, I hope that I'm right about most of the things that I think I'm right, so that's why I think the ways that I do. But we can be off about certain things. Like, there's plenty of things that happen for other black people that we don't know about, and there's like intersectionality, different black experiences. Like, there's Latin
100%.
American black people. George has a different experience than I do in a lot of ways. So just recognize, like, as much as this is a source for information and stuff like that, like, if this is something you're trying to engage with to learn more about black people or whatever, this isn't the end all be all. There's more. Like, if you are committed to wanting to engage with social justice and stuff like that, there's so much more. I would encourage you to read, but I feel like this is probably a safer environment for people that are wanting to jump into that. This is a place to go, I guess. We might not always be right about stuff. We'll try to be as educated on the topics we're talking about, and we want to make an effort to establish what we're going to talk about for each podcast, and go in a direction where we are ready to discuss it in a appropriate and safe and ethical manner, because it'd be dumb if we just like, oh, let's just talk about this topic and throw out all this information that's not true. What did you think I was gonna?
Well, I think it's actually a great segue, is that for those of you guys who are tuning into this podcast, again, we're stoked you're here, but I think what is an important mindset, I think, to enter into this is kind of culmination of everything we've said. Like, we're not here to change your minds. We're hoping that you're coming here because you it's a desire within you.
Yeah, that you want to do that.
To have compassion towards people of color, or to learn, or to gain a broader experience than maybe what you've grown up with. like we like kind of like we keep saying, we're not the end all be all. We're, don't send our videos to other people either in the sense of like trying to prove them wrong. We're sharing our experiences. We're sharing what we're like, kind of our perspective, but we're here to hopefully, like, you've made the first step in the sense that you want to, maybe you've seen something in your life, or you've seen something maybe in the way you brought up, or you've seen something in your behavior and you're like, whoa, I want to get better in this, or I want to further my like anti-racist, like, I'm like, I don't want to just be not racist. Like, I want to be against racism, and I want to make efforts in that. And so you've looked for resources. Someone shared this with you or whatever. Or
maybe you're a masochist and you just want to listen to black people talk and maybe think about how much you hate us.
For sure.
Which is sick too. Welcome.
100%. And so like you're, what I'm saying? Like you've done that. And so, but again, I guess my point is to say that we're not here again to like, I hope you're not using this as a way to be like self-righteous or a way to, gosh, what am I trying to say? Like,
think you're getting points or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Like this isn't that. This is, hopefully again, a place where people who are wanting to maybe this is step one for you. Maybe you're like all about this and you just love this kind of stuff. And so this is just another,
you need a little encouragement or something.
For sure. And maybe that's it. And that's great. And it's for all those, but I'm not trying to get you from 0 to 1. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully you've come here with the mindset of like, yo, I want to be, what you're going to talk about this, like maybe the similar language that you use, I want to be an ally, or I want to, do better in this arena. And so that's why like you're here. Again, if you're, just doing this to check a box, I don't think you'll find value here. Like, because, maybe you will, but, yeah, really we're speaking to a group of people who like, this is something that they're passionate about. This is something that they want to do. We're passionate about this. We want to see all people, but especially people of color and marginalized people. We want to give them we want to encourage and embolden them and give them a place where they can rally. And we want to give people who are not of color but want to see the advancement and furtherment of people of color and marginalized people. We want to give them a place to where they can continue that and get resistance, which I know that's something you're passionate about too. So I want to give you some time to talk on that. But just that idea of hopefully you've come here on your own accord. Your own volition, your own accord, because you in your own life want to see or do better. And we're not here to convince you. Like if you need to be convinced that like racism is still a thing, like like we're gonna kind of skip over that's just like, well, this is clearly what's happening, so we're just gonna, like, I'm not gonna try and convince you of that. This is for people who kind of already believe and run in that vein, and they're trying to like, we're trying to find some solution. Not that we have a solution, but we're trying to move in that direction. You could probably explain a little bit better, or
like, I think something that we talked about that I really hope somehow, like, this is just us having casual conversations that we might have together with Jed or any of our homies and stuff like that in a normal conversation. We're trying to like bring that in front of a camera so that people can kind of see like, oh, like, because we don't really talk about race super often, but it does happen. You know, like it comes up. So
are you saying you and I don't talk about race?
Well, yeah, you like not that often. Like I think it comes up, but it's not like, it's not our life.
I think for people who don't talk about race, so I think they'd be surprised. Like, I think for you and me, it's like not a lot because we talk so much that it feels like it's not that. But I think it's probably alarming to other people who never talk about race how much we talk about.
Well, a lot of other people, it's not just race they don't talk about. They don't talk about it. But no, like that's not no. That's not like a shot take at people. But like, and also like we were talking. And one of the things we were focused on was saying the whole idea that like anti-racism is a space that's available to everyone, you know, not in the sense that like you can just show up to the cookout and not bring anything. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
that's a great analogy.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like you gotta bring some
for those of you guys who've never been to a cookout. Cookout is usually a term referred to by black people when they have like when we have barbecue, it's called the cookout. And like it's a fire thing. It's super dope. If you've never been to a cookout, you need to go to one because they're fire. But like, yeah, for sure, like almost like a rule. You can't show up without anything. Like you gotta, like, even if you go to the store and you get some potato salad and you like throw it in the bowl, but like you gotta show up with something.
Yeah, like come through, like, and that's an invitation. Like I think I don't know that we are like. I don't think that we would be a space for de-radicalizing people that are kind of gnarly in their ideologies and stuff like that. But if you're here, you're totally welcome to be here. Yeah. Anybody that wants to be here can be here. I think we're just not going to engage with any, like, there's only so much civil discourse you can have with people. There's a point where it's just like, there's nothing for us to talk about. I don't know. Like, and I'm just being real about that. And, but if you are here, I hope that this is like that this is an opportunity for us to just talk and for you to gather more information about the experience that you've never really seen or anything. And like, if you're down to like not be radicalized, that's sick. There's other channels on YouTube that people are more focused on doing that, and they're probably way better than two black dudes doing it. Yeah. But you know, there's room for everyone to be. What's really dope about not being racist or not being a fascist is that inherently not being those things, like, there's room for everyone to participate in that. It's just a matter of like your mindset and what your goals are and stuff. And so everyone's welcome to that.
Then that's what that was one of the great conversations. The last conversation we had that was really great is we really want this podcast to be an invitation for not you, but for everyone that comes across this, to be an invitation to be able to participate in a mindset and actions and in deeds of like anti-racism, which is amazing. It's amazing to get to be around people who like stand up for justice and stand up for what's right and stand up for love and compassion for people. And so it's really weird we have this conversation and realizing like I think I don't think sometimes people of color or whatever are like always great at like inviting people into that space. It's like either you're with us or you're not. And
it's like, I mean, if you like, we'll talk more about that. That's understandable.
But for sure. But I think for some people an invitation does help. For sure. They're not sure and they might be on the fence or about something or whatever the case is. But like really what we want this podcast to be is an invitation for you to hear conversations that, like, I remember one time you and I having a conversation. It's funny. We were having a conversation at Raising Cane's, and a really good friend of ours, I don't think he'll mind being named, Steve, he was there, and we were talking about something about race, and he was just like, I've never been around people who talk about this kind of stuff. You know, I mean, he's a white dude, grew up.
Oh, I do. I remember that conversation.
And he was just like, and it was great. He was just like, wow, I've never heard people talk about that issue. Like
Steve's
that.
fire too.
Steve's amazing. Love Steve. But like, this is an invitation for you to get to be around, like virtually, but like be around like us as we have conversations that we would have in maybe private or
probably wouldn't have in front of
like people. Wouldn't have in front of you, but like you get to hear perspectives and hear different like frustrations or why that hurts or why like that's bothersome, whatever the case is. And by you getting that invitation and getting to hear that, you are able to have more context and perspective now when you interact with people of color or white people in those contexts, in those spaces. And it's an invitation for you to be able to go, yo, you can participate in this, in the like dismantling of racism, especially in America, the dismantling of treatment of people based off of stuff that just is completely like
stupid.
Yeah, like out of their control and like not a reason to treat someone differently about. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an invitation. Like you can like it's pretty awesome to like be anti-racist. And like we would love for you to be able to experience that, maybe in a way that you haven't before, or in a way that might be new. Which is, I mean, I feel like that was such a great conversation we had, where it's like we hope it's an open door for that. And again, not that we're the end all be all. We hope that you're consuming more than just this podcast. In that, hope you're reading books and listening to the podcast and consuming and watching stuff that really has a lot of education and stuff behind it. But maybe this is the first step. Maybe this is an open door, and we're inviting you into the door of being able to experience that.
Yeah.
And really, that's kind of the heart behind the podcast, and just who we are, I think, as people too.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Anything else? I feel like that was a great. We're under 30 minutes, which is awesome. If you guys followed us before, you know that's not. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, man. Anything else? What do you think? What do you think?
I was gonna make a ratchet joke, but I'm not gonna do it.
Off camera.
We'll
record it and we'll throw it up on like a Patreon group or something. I don't know. We'll do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Yep.
Couple things. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you are not, please follow our Instagram. Again, it's a great way for us to be able to communicate and whatnot.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like
Hit
button.
That subscribe. Show all your friends, your mom, your dad.
Comment with us. We really want to have comments and we want to have conversation. And yeah, be really kind to someone today and tomorrow and the day after that, because dude, name something that you love about being black.
My skin.
My hair, because freaking, you know what I'm saying, dude?
Dreads are tight, bro.
Dude, dreads are tight.
Literally, the hair follicles tight.
They're tied together. They're tight.
Just they look great.
This podcast is sponsored by absolutely no one. But one day that won't be true. But it won't be today. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Black on black.
Black on black.
Welcome black.